Hey everyone, this is Kurt Frankum, just making a quick informal video, not editing this one at all. And obviously that we'll push the audio out to the podcast as well. But man, a few thoughts on my mind. One, I released that episode called Will Leading Saints Last? And just kind of give you the raw, real perspective of what we're going through, what I'm going through in relation to leading saints. So I encourage you to listen to that. Just want to give a follow-up, a big thank you of the many individuals who've reached out and offered some help in some form or another. And if you were prompted at that or are ever prompted to reach out, please do. Like, those conversations have benefited me so much on so many different levels. So thank you so much. I want to emphasize sort of the part of this fundraising that we're doing in December of 2025 for the 1,000 Zion Builders. Make sure that everybody's aware of that, what it's about and how it works and how you can help. And I guess it comes down to, I want to articulate this around the topic of your leaders, right? It's interesting, as I have opportunity to meet with different individuals, I always try and ask them, like, hey, like if they are a formal church leader, I often say, hey, what keeps you up at night? What are you experiencing as in this role? And kind of understanding their perspective. Or if they're not, or if they're just everyday member and going about their they're worshiping as they do, and whatever calling or no calling, I just say, what's your ward like? What do you like? What do you don't like? What's your relationship with your bishop like, or your elders quorum president, or relief study president? And it's interesting how much I hear just, and these aren't people who are looking to throw their leader under the bus or gossip about them. They do their best to articulate often a frustration that they have with their church leader, or the frustration they have with the culture of their ward, right? And I would love to sit in those conversations and look them straight in the eye and say, well, thankfully you have leading saints, because we'll fix that right up, right? That's not necessarily what leading saints is for. And so I often say, we may not be able to help change your ward leaders, your stake leaders. And again, we're not here to just fix the problem of leadership or fix the leaders so that they start thinking right, or do, these 5 things so that they're great leaders, or they change the culture. But I guarantee you that the discussion, the content we have in Leading Saints, and I meet these leaders all the time, who's like, wow, like your content, the Leading Saints content, just helped me get a fresh perspective about topic A, B, C, D, right? And now I'm doing it differently. I'm showing up differently. I talked about that in the Will Leading Saints last episode, about how one episode can have such a dramatic impact on so many others. So I want to encourage you to become a Zion builder, which helps us fund our organization of Leading Saints. And our goal is to get 1,000 Zion builders. And I know we can do it. We got the numbers, we got the listeners. If we can just get 1,000 of you willing to either become a Zion builder or sponsor a Zion builder, that would be so dramatic in our mission and what we are striving to do. Because again, I can't promise you specifically, you personally, that, oh yeah, we'll change your bishop for good. But for every individual who's having a hard time, there are 10, 15, 20 leaders who are changing, who are looking at things differently, who are learning to stimulate positive culture in their ward and their faith community, right? And Leading Saints is often at the heart of that. And again, I'm not here to take all credit and say, like, yeah, Leading Saints does this, nobody else can. But this is part of, we want to have an organized effort where individuals can turn to and say, all right, maybe there's something for me to learn here, right? And Leading Saints does that, but we need your help to reach that. So here's my ask. One, if you're not a Zion builder at this point, I ask you to go to leadingsaints.org/Zion. That'll push you into the Zion Lab. That's our online community where we talk all things leadership and building Zion. And click on the link, the space that's called 1,000 Zion Builders, and become a Zion builder. $15 a month, get you access to our full archive of content, and most impressively is the AI clerk, where you can ask any question. We've had questions like, hey, I'm a brand new Relief Society counselor. Where should I start? Or teach me about what should I know about ministering interviews, and it will the AI will summarize that for you and then give you specific links to podcast episodes, articles, discussions we've had in Zion Lab that will get you on the right get you going on the right foot. And so it's so impressive to see that almost instantaneously, the first step people can take, they can find exactly the answers for whatever dilemma they're facing. So that first ask, become a Zion builder. Second ask is if you are already a Zion builder, after you become a Zion builder, will you sponsor an additional Zion builder or 2 or 3 or 4? And that will all go towards our 1,000 Zion builders that we have that we're trying to accumulate. And lastly, maybe you can't afford the $15 a month. Maybe you can't afford sponsoring additional Zion builders. No problem. Take a sponsorship. Be one of our 1,000 Zion builders that we are striving to sponsor, and get into the community. Jump into the AI clerk and ask questions. Go into our archives. Watch all of our virtual conferences that we've recorded. There's 10 of them, right? All about teaching, mental health, overcoming pornography, all these things, right? Jump into that content and get going. Don't use an excuse of, I can't afford this. No, of course you can. Somebody has afforded it for you. So I invite you to help us with this campaign. I'm going to be talking a lot about it in December, but I just want to paint the picture of the impact that we're having of shifting culture. Maybe not for your ward, maybe not for your quorum, maybe not for your organization, but there's a lot you can do there, and that's a discussion for another time. But somewhere it's having a dramatic impact, and we're sharing the stories of just what that looks like. Even today, I was talking with an Elders Quorum president who's like, I'm trying to navigate the general conference lesson thing in my quorum, right? And I was able to point him to various resources and thoughts of ways that, of course, we need to, work in the general conference perspective into Elders Quorum and have that lesson. But there's maybe a higher purpose and a higher perspective that we could take as far as how can we help the men who show up in Elders Quorum so that they're better saints, that they show up better in life for their family and those things, right? And so suddenly cultures begin to shift, right? Again, it may not have been your Elders Quorum, but it was somebody's Elders Quorum. So it's making a huge difference and of shifting culture in a positive direction in our faith community. So go to leadingsaints.org/Zion, click on the 1,000 Zion Builders space and get started there. Become a Zion Builder, receive a sponsorship for Zion Builder. Let's get the conversation going. And I'm excited to see you over in Zion Lab and get the conversation going. Thank you so much for your help. I know you probably can't do everything for Leading Saints, but you can do something. So I invite you to do that something. 1,000 Zion Builders before the end of December. All right. Thanks, guys.